Hey everyone! We're diving into something today that I know is really relevant to a lot of you out there, and that's staying strong and healthy after you hit that big 5-0.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
And our deep dive today is inspired by an episode we found called Healthy Aging, the Science of Staying Strong. It's from a show called Life Hacks After 50. I'm super curious about this one.
Yeah. It's actually pretty fascinating. It paints such a positive picture of aging, which is
Huh.
awesome.
Okay, so like not doom and gloom.
Right. We hear so much about like all the changes after 50,
Yeah, yeah.
and this episode actually addresses those things.
Uh-huh.
Like muscle loss, lower bone density, stiffer joints, metabolism slowing down, and even the increased risk of chronic conditions.
Yeah.
But it does so from an angle of like, okay, this is normal, but here's what you can do.
I like that. So it acknowledges the realities, but it's
Yeah.
not like, oh no, you're doomed.
Exactly. It's all about taking charge and being proactive about how you age.
I love that. It's about feeling empowered, right? Like you have some control over the process.
100%.
Yeah.
They really drive that point home.
Okay, so I'm already intrigued. One thing I remember them emphasizing was strength training, like
Yeah.
how it's key to combating muscle loss, which they called, what was it, sarcopenia?
Yeah, sarcopenia. It's a fancy term, but it basically means that as we age, our bodies start breaking down muscle faster than we build it up.
Huh. So if you don't do anything about it, you just keep losing muscle.
Pretty much, yeah. And it affects more than just your strength. We're talking balance, metabolism, even bone health.
Wow, I didn't realize it was so impactful. So how does strength training help with that?
Strength training is like sending a message to your body saying, hey, we need these muscles. Let's keep them strong and working. It actually stimulates muscle protein synthesis, which is basically the process of building and repairing muscle tissue.
So even though that natural breakdown is happening, you can fight back with strength training.
Absolutely. And you don't even need to be hitting the gym and lifting heavy weights. They actually highlighted body weight exercises in the episode.
Okay, like what kinds of things?
Things like squats, lunges, push-ups, stuff you can do anywhere, anytime.
That's perfect for people who don't have a gym membership or maybe don't feel comfortable in a gym setting.
Totally. It's super accessible.
They also touched on aerobic exercise, which I'm a big fan of. Walking, swimming, cycling. I even like to just dance around my living room.
Those are all fantastic examples of moderate intensity aerobic exercise. And that's exactly what they recommended, at least 150 minutes a week.
Oh, nice. I probably hit that without even realizing it.
See? You're already ahead of the game. And the research they cited shows that getting those 150 minutes can really reduce your risk of chronic diseases, A&D, improve your overall quality of life.
Okay, that's motivating. But what if you have, say, some joint issues or find those activities tough? They mentioned some alternatives, right?
Yeah, for sure. They suggested some great low-impact options like yoga or Pilates, things that can be really helpful for flexibility, balance, and posture.
Well, that makes sense. Especially for things like preventing falls, which I know becomes more of a concern as we age.
Absolutely, they were big on that.
Let's talk about food now. I'm always up for some practical nutrition advice. What were some of the highlights from the episode?
Well, they started with protein, which makes sense since we talked about muscle protein synthesis, right?
Right, protein to build and repair those muscles.
Exactly. They suggested focusing on lean sources like chicken, fish, legumes, eggs too, and plant-based stuff like tofu and quinoa.
So it's not just about eating enough protein, but also choosing the right kind of protein.
Exactly. They really stressed that. And they didn't stop at just protein. They went on to talk about other key nutrients too, like calcium and vitamin D, which we all know are important for bone health.
And what did they say were the best sources for those?
For calcium, dairy products, leafy greens, or those fortified plant milks. And for vitamin D, sunshine's a great one, plus fatty fish or even fortified foods.
Got it. So it's like building a strong foundation from the inside out, right?
You got it. And speaking of foundations, they also mentioned something that a lot of us, especially as we get older, tend to forget about.
Oh, I'm curious. What's that?
Hydration. Sometimes you get so caught up in your day-to-day, you forget to drink enough water.
Totally. Especially when you're busy or on the go.
Right. And as we age, it's even more important because we don't always feel thirst as strongly.
Oh, that's good to know. So making a conscious effort to drink more water is key. Now, there was something else they mentioned that I was really interested in omega-3 fatty acids. I know those are good for you, but why did they specifically mention them in the context of aging?
I think that ties in perfectly with your interest in staying sharp mentally. Omega-3s are really important for brain health, and research suggests they can actually help protect against cognitive decline.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I'm guessing they're good for heart health too, right? considering all the anti-inflammatory properties and such.
You know it? They're pretty much a win-win when it comes to aging well.
Okay, I'm sold. Where can I get more of those?
Fatty fish like salmon is a great source, but there are also plant-based options like chia seeds, walnuts, flax seeds.
I love walnuts. So, what I'm gathering here is that it's really a holistic approach to health after 50. It's not just about one thing, it's about all these different pieces working together.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's what makes this episode so cool. It really emphasizes the importance of weaving together strength training, aerobic exercise, good nutrition, hydration. All of it contributes to a lifestyle that supports healthy aging. But it doesn't stop there.
Oh, there's more. Okay, tell me what else they covered.
Well, they went on to discuss something that's absolutely crucial as we age, flexibility and balance. And they play such a big role in maintaining independence and mobility.
Makes sense. So, how do we incorporate that into all this other stuff?
Well, that's what we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive. We'll talk about specific strategies for staying flexible and improving balance, all with the goal of feeling good and moving freely as we age.
Okay, so we're back and ready to talk about flexibility and balance. These are things I know I need to work on, but I'll be honest, they don't always feel as exciting as, say, a good workout.
I hear ya. But they're so essential, especially as we get older. The episode we were talking about really highlighted their role in maintaining independence and preventing falls.
Yeah, I can see that. Being able to move freely and keep your balance is kind of key to just living life, right?
Exactly. It's about being able to do all the things you want to do without feeling limited or restricted.
Hmm.
Like, think about getting up from a chair, reaching for something on a high shelf, even just walking upstairs. Those are all things that can become more challenging if you lose mobility and balance.
Okay, that makes sense. But I'm curious, what exactly is mobility beyond just being flexible? I feel like it's one of those buzzwords I hear a lot, but I'm not always sure what it actually means.
That's a great question. It's more than just being able to touch your toes. It's really about your body's overall ability to move freely and easily through a range of motion. It's about how well your joints and muscles work together to allow you to do all those everyday movements.
Okay, so it's about functional movement, being able to move through life with ease. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something that we can proactively maintain and even improve, regardless of our age.
And flexibility is a part of that, right?
Absolutely. Flexibility is all about the ability of your muscles and joints to stretch and bend. Think of it as the range of motion you have around a joint. The more flexible you are, the greater that range of motion will be.
So if you have good flexibility, you're less likely to feel stiff or tight.
You got it? And that's why stretching is so important, especially as we age and those muscles and joints tend to get a little less, shall we say, cooperative.
I can definitely relate to that. I feel it in my hips and hamstrings after sitting at my desk all day. They actually specifically mentioned those areas in the episode, didn't they? Along with the lower back.
Yep. Those are some common trouble spots, especially if we spend a lot of time sitting, which a lot of us do these days.
Okay, so stretching is key. But I have to admit, I'm not always great at making it a regular habit. Any tips for actually sticking with a stretching routine?
One thing that might help is finding a time of day that works for you and really scheduling it in.
Hmm.
Some people like to stretch first thing in the morning to kind of loosen up, while others prefer to do it in the evening to unwind before bed.
Yeah, I think I'm more of an evening stretcher. It helps me relax and transition into sleep mode.
There you go. And remember, it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment. Even 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a difference. You can even break it up into smaller chunks throughout the day, like maybe do some hamstring stretches while you're waiting for your coffee to brew or some shoulder rolls while you're on a phone call.
Ooh, I like that, sneaking it in throughout the day.
Right. It's all about making it work for your lifestyle. And another thing, find stretches you actually enjoy. If you dread doing a particular stretch, you're less likely to do it. Experiment with different types of stretching, static, dynamic, yoga, and see what feels good for your body.
That's a great reminder. Sometimes I get stuck in a rut doing the same stretches over and over again.
Exactly. Mix it up. The more variety you can incorporate, the better. And that goes for the time of day, too. The more you can integrate stretching into your daily life, the more likely you are to make it a lasting habit, just like anything else, right?
Speaking of making things a habit, the episode also talked about balance exercises. Now, those are something I really struggle with.
I know, balance exercises can feel kind of tedious sometimes,
Hmm.
but trust me, they are so important, especially for preventing those falls we were talking about, and just for overall mobility and stability as we age.
Okay, I'm listening. How can we make balance exercises less, well, boring and something we'll actually do.
Well, one thing you can do is try incorporating balance challenges into your everyday activities. Like, for example, instead of holding onto the countertop while you're washing dishes, see if you can stand on one leg. Or, while you're waiting in line at the grocery store, practice standing on your tiptoes. Little things like that.
Ooh, I like that. It's like sneaking in a little workout without even thinking about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it all adds up. Another idea is to find a balance buddy, someone who can join you and keep you motivated.
Oh, I love that. I think I might recruit my partner for that. We could do some balance exercises together while we watch TV or something.
Perfect. It's always more fun with a buddy. And you can even turn it into a little competition.
Ooh, a competition. Now you're talking my language. I might actually stick with it if there's a challenge involved.
There you go. And remember, just like with stretching, it doesn't have to be anything super complicated or time-consuming. Even a few minutes each day can make a big difference.
That's reassuring to hear. So we've got strength training, aerobic exercise, nutrition, stretching, balance exercises. I'm starting to feel a bit overwhelmed, to be honest.
I get it. It's a lot to take in, especially when you're first starting to think about all these different aspects of healthy aging.
So how do we make it feel less daunting? Where do we even begin?
Well, remember, it's a journey, not a race. And that's something they emphasize in the episode, too. It's about finding what works for you and gradually incorporating these principles into your life.
So it's not about trying to change everything overnight.
Nope. No need for drastic overhauls. It's about progress, not perfection.
Okay, that makes me feel better. But still, where do we actually start?
I would say pick one small thing you can do today. Just one. It could be as simple as adding an extra serving of vegetables to your dinner, taking a walk during your lunch break, or doing 5 minutes of stretching before bed. Whatever feels doable for you, just start somewhere.
That's great advice. Start small and build from there.
Exactly. And as you start to experience the benefits of those small changes, you'll likely find yourself motivated to do more. It's like a positive feedback loop. You feel better, so you want to take even better care of yourself.
I love that idea. So it's about building momentum and creating a lifestyle that supports healthy aging.
You got it. It's not about deprivation or restriction. It's about making choices that make you feel good and that set you up for a future where you can continue to do all the things you love.
And a big part of that is prioritizing rest and recovery, right? Which
Yeah.
is something we haven't really talked about yet. I know we mentioned sleep earlier, but are there other aspects of recovery we should be considering?
Absolutely. Sleep is huge, but there's also something called active recovery, which can be really beneficial.
Active recovery. What's that?
It's basically engaging in some low-intensity movement that helps your body recover from more strenuous activity.
So like what kinds of things?
Think gentle walking, swimming, easy cycling, yoga, even just light stretching. It's about keeping your body moving without putting a lot of stress on it.
So it's not about pushing yourself hard, but rather about giving your body a chance to repair and rebuild.
Exactly. And it can help with reducing muscle soreness, promoting blood flow, preventing stiffness, all good things.
Okay, I'm definitely going to try incorporating more of that. I tend to go all out in my workouts and then crash on the couch for the rest of the day.
I think a lot of us can relate to that. But giving your body that gentle movement afterwards can make a big difference.
You know, all this talk about physical health is great, but I'm also thinking about the mental and emotional aspects of aging. Those are important too, right?
Absolutely. And even though the episode we're talking about focused mainly on the physical stuff, I think a lot of the same principles apply to our mental and emotional well-being as well.
Like how so?
Well, think about it this way. Just like we need to challenge our bodies with strength training to keep our muscles strong, we also need to challenge our minds to keep them sharp.
So it's like mental strength training.
Exactly. Things like learning a new language, taking up a new hobby, doing puzzles, those all help build cognitive reserve and keep our brains engaged.
And I'm guessing those things can have a positive impact on our mood and overall sense of well-being too.
You know it. It's all connected.
It's about finding those things that make us feel alive and engaged no matter our age.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the beauty of aging comes in. We have more experience, more wisdom. We know ourselves better. We can use that to really focus on the things that bring us joy and make us feel fulfilled.
I love that. It's about embracing aging as a time of continued growth and discovery.
Absolutely. It's never too late to learn new things, try new things, rediscover old passions.
This conversation is really shifting my perspective on aging. I'm starting to see it less as a decline and more as an opportunity for continued evolution.
That's fantastic. And that's what I love about this whole deep dive. It's about empowering ourselves to age well, on our own terms to really create the future we want.
Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our conversation, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to hold on to?
Hmm. I would say this. Aging is not about decline, it's about evolution. It's about embracing change, adapting to new challenges, and continuing to grow and learn. And most importantly, it's about remembering that we have more agency over our aging journey than we might think.
I love that. It's about taking ownership and shaping the experience.
Exactly. Which brings us to a really important question that was posed in the episode.
Okay, what's the question?
They asked, based on everything we've talked about, what's one small change you can make today to support your strength and health in the years to come?
Ooh, that's a powerful question. It really challenges us to take action.
It does. And I encourage every single one of you listening to take a moment to really think about that.
What's one small step you can take right now to invest in your future well-being? It could be anything, right? Like adding an extra serving of veggies to your next meal, taking a quick walk after dinner, doing a few stretches before bed.
Exactly. Anything that feels doable and sustainable for you. Just start somewhere and build from there.
So it's about progress, not perfection.
100%.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all in this together.
That's right. We're here to support each other every step of the way.
You know what's striking me as we talk about all this? It's like healthy aging isn't just about tacking on more years to your life.
It's about quality, right?
Yeah, it's about adding more life to those years, making them count.
Exactly. It's not about just living longer. It's about living better, feeling vibrant and capable and all that.
And that brings me back to something that really stood out to me about the episode. They didn't try to present like a one-size-fits-all formula.
Oh, totally. They made it very clear that healthy aging is going to look different for everyone.
It's not about following some rigid set of rules. It's more about understanding the principles and then figuring out how to apply them to your own life, right?
Yeah. We all have different bodies, different lifestyles, different goals. What works for one person might not be the best fit for someone else.
It's about listening to your own body, right?
Yeah.
And kind of honoring what it needs.
100%. It
Uh,
takes the pressure off trying to fit into some perfect mold.
Instead, it's like you get to define what healthy aging means for you on your own terms.
I love that. And that's what I think is so valuable about this whole deep dive. It gives you that foundation, those evidence-based principles, and then you can kind of go from there and make it your own.
It's like having a toolbox, right? You've got all these different tools, but you get to choose which ones you need and how you want to use them.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
It really emphasizes that we have choices. We have power in how we approach this whole aging thing.
And that's a message that really resonates with me. It's not about passively accepting changes, but about actively participating in the process.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about being curious, exploring, trying new things, and figuring out what works best for you.
And that's something we can all do, right? No matter our age or fitness level, it's never too late to start prioritizing our health and well-being.
Absolutely. Small steps, day by day, and celebrate those wins along the way.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into staying strong after 50, what's the one big message you want to leave everyone with?
I would say this. You have the power to create a future where you thrive. Not just survive, but actually thrive. You have the power to age with vitality and strength and purpose.
I love that. It's a reminder that we're not just along for the ride, we're in the driver's seat.
Exactly. We get to choose the direction, the pace, the scenery. It's our journey.
So let's step into this next chapter with confidence, with curiosity, and with a real commitment to taking good care of ourselves.
Here's to embracing aging, all the challenges, and all the amazing possibilities it brings.
Cheers to that. And thanks to all of you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep on embracing the adventure of life.
It's been a pleasure. Take care, everyone.